Hey loves, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Osetale. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I made my beautiful wrap dress. The pink one on the left was my inspiration and what I'm wearing is what I made. If this sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Welcome back guys. This is the fabric I'm going to be using for this tutorial. I have 3 yards of fabric here. If you're a bigger person, you may be needing up to 4 yards of fabric. It's a stretchy crepe fabric, and because of that, I can't cut directly on this fabric. So I'm going to go ahead to draft it out on my pattern paper. These are the measurements you're going to be needing for this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead to draft the back piece first. So to do that, go ahead and rule a line here, which is going to serve as your starting line. I'm not going to be adding any zipper allowance because we don't need zipper for this wrap top. Now on this line, go ahead and take your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Come down there by 1 inch. Come here and take your neck width 3 inches. Then come and take your neck depth 1 inch. Go ahead and connect your shoulder slope. Then use your curve rule to connect the small round neckline. After you're done doing that, it's time to take all the horizontal measurements. Place your tape on the starting line, measure to your bust point, your waistline, take it all the way to your hip line, and take the full length of this top. So the full length I'm going to be making use of is 38 inches, but because of the pleat I'm going to minus 2 inches from 38, so I went ahead to mark 36 inches. Go ahead and connect these lines. After you're done doing that, this is what you're going to have. This is the bust point, the waistline, the hip line, and I also have the hemline. So after you're done doing that, come to this part here. You are going to be coming down by your round bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch to get your armhole depth. Mark it and go ahead and connect this. After you're done doing that, now you're going to label the chest line. Now on this line, measure what you have here and get the midpoint of it. Make a mark there, then go in by 1/2 inch, just 1/2 inch. So after you're done doing that, come to the chest line and take your round bust measurement divided by 4. Now go ahead and use your curve rule to connect your armhole. After you're done doing that, now it's time to take all the round body measurement. This is my initial bust measurement divided by 4. I'm going to add 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. Go ahead and connect this to meet the bust point. Then you're going to come to the waistline. Take your round waist measurement divided by 4. Add 1 inch for the dart. Add 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. Come to the hip line. Take your hip measurement divided by 4 and add 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. Now you're going to come to the hemline. You're going to measure what you have on the hip line here, minus 1 inch from what you have and take it on the hemline. Now you're going to go ahead and use your curve rule to connect your shape like this. So just go ahead and do it like you see how I flipped the ruler. So that's how you're going to do it in order to get the shape that you're looking for. So just go ahead and do it like this. This is what you're going to have. Now it's time to mark out the dart. You're going to come to the waistline. Take your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus 1/2 inch on the waistline. Take it on the bust point. And here, just come down by 5 inches from the waistline here and mark it and take the same thing on that mark. Go ahead and connect this with your straight ruler. After you're done doing this, you're going to come to the waistline. On this line, take 1/2 inch on both sides. Then go ahead and use your ruler to connect your dart just like that. So guys, this is what you're going to have after connecting. Now go ahead and cut this out. This is what you're going to have after you're done cutting. Now I'm just going to go ahead to cut this waistline. Go ahead and separate the half length from the full body. So you're going to have 2 pieces like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll be modifying these pieces to cut the front part. So I have another fresh pattern paper I'm going to be using to cut the front part. So just go ahead and place your back piece on it, flip it to the other side and place it on it like this and trace it out. So guys, after doing that, the next thing is to determine the wrap. So I'm just going to come here and I'll measure out 6 inches. If you're a bigger person, you may need to measure up to 8 to 10 inches. So I measured out 6 inches. Just go ahead and roll a straight line and cut this out. So after you're done doing that, now it's time to determine the neckline. How wide your neckline wants to be is totally dependent on you. So for my case, I'm going to be coming down by 8 inches. Just make a mark there. Now go ahead and connect this. You're going to go up here by 1 inch, so just mark up 1 inch like that. Use your curve rule like this to connect it just like that. After you're done doing that, mark this neckline and go ahead to connect it just like this as well. So guys, this is what you're going to have. You're going to cut it out. After cutting, you're going to label the front, so just label it the front. Remove the pin that you're using holding it down and label this other one the back. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out the dart for the front. I'm going to place the back on it like this and just use it to mark it out and trace it out. So guys, after doing that, this is what you're going to have. Now I have a fresh pattern paper I'll be using to draft the front part, so just go ahead and bring the down part of the back. Go ahead and flip it to the other side like this and place it on your pattern paper. Now you're going to mark 6 inches out here, just the same way we did for the upper part. Go ahead and go out by 6 inches and connect it. You're also going to connect it like this, and this upper part you connect it. Now you're going to go ahead and cut this out. After cutting, this is what you're going to have. Now the next thing is to make curve here. There's a curve at the front area, so just go up by 2.5 inches and try to just use your free hand to make a curve. So guys, just do it like this. There's no special way of doing this. Just try and make a curve just like this. After you're done doing that, cut this out. So this is what you're going to have. Now I'm going to mark the dart. I'm just going to use this dart line to mark on the front part just like this, and I will trace it out. After you're done doing that, this is what you're going to have. Label it the front and label this other one the back. So guys, this is it. Now I'm going to place this aside. We draft the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I have a fresh pattern paper. I already ruled a line which is going to be for my starting line. On that line, I will come down by the sleeve length, which is 23 inches. Go ahead and connect it like this. Now come to this starting line and take your round armhole measurement divided by 2. Come down by 5 inches. Go ahead and connect a straight line. After doing that, rule a slanted line like this. Now on this slanted line, you're going to take your round armhole measurement divided by 2 and mark it. After marking it, get the middle of your mark just like that. Now you're going to use your curve rule to create a curve like this. Flip the ruler to the other side and create the other curve just like this. Now on this curve, you're going to take your round armhole measurement divided by 2. There are going to be pleats on top. So because of that pleat, I'm going to be adding extra 1 inch to my round armhole measurement divided by 2. You're going to mark it. Now you're going to go ahead and come down here and take your round arm measurement divided by 2. Minus 1 inch from what you just took as your round arm. Take it on the hemline and connect this. Now you're going to go ahead and cut this out. So guys, this is what you're going to have after you're done cutting. These are all the pattern papers that we've cut out. Now I'm going to go ahead and use all these pattern papers to cut on my fabric for this tutorial. This is what I had after I was done using the pattern paper to cut on my fabric. I added 1/2 inch to all the sides that needed sewing allowance, like joining allowance. Okay, so guys, the sleeve, I didn't add sewing allowance when I drafted this, so you can see I added 1 inch. I also added 1/2 inch to all the sides. For the skirt part, I added sewing allowance to all the parts that need sewing allowance, so that part is on fold. So this is it guys. These are all the pieces that you're going to be needing. Now I'm going to start sewing, so just go ahead and place these aside. This back piece and the front piece, I'm going to use my chalk to mark out the dart on my fabric. You can see what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and mark your dart out like that and trace it out. After you're done tracing, you will take this to the sewing machine and sew the dart. You will do the same thing to the front piece. This is what I had after I was done sewing the dart on it. As you can see, I ironed it out very well. This is the front part. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and join the shoulders. So just place it the right sides facing each other like this. Take it to your sewing machine and join the shoulders. This is what you're going to have after you're done joining the shoulders. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is to fold this neckline area. So just go ahead and take this to the sewing machine, fold it like this, and just hem it around. This is what I had after I was done hemming that, guys. You can see. So this is what you're going to have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to just go ahead and place this aside, then we work on the sleeve. So I'm going to bring my sleeve. I'm going to take the hem part of the sleeve to the market. I will use foreign weaving to weave it. I don't want to fold it. So guys, after you are done doing that, the next thing you're going to do is to come here and mark 2 inches up. So just mark it up like this and rule a straight line. Now on this line, I'm going to bring my elastic band. I will measure around my wrist. So just go ahead and measure around your wrist. I have 8 inches. You're going to cut your elastic band out with 9 inches, extra 1 inch for the joining allowance. Go ahead and cut 2. Okay, so after you're done cutting, you're going to take this to the sewing machine. You will place your elastic band on the line that you ruled. You're going to stretch it and sew. So you're just going to keep stretching your elastic band while you sew on it to give it gather effect. You do the same thing to the other sleeve. This is what I had after I was done doing that. You can see how it came out so nice. So this is what you're going to have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and make notch at the middle of my sleeve. Do the same thing to the other one. So just go ahead and fold it together and make notch. Now the next thing you're going to do is to open up your fabric. You're going to be attaching the sleeve to the body. So just go ahead and place your sleeve like this and pin it down. So just keep pinning this. When you get to the middle here, you're going to make pleats on it. Did you see what I'm doing? So just make little pleats on the middle part there. After you're done doing that, go ahead and sew this all the way to the other end. Then you will do the same thing to the other sleeve as well. So guys, this is what I have after I was done attaching the sleeve to the body. You can see the pleats I was talking about. So this is what you're going to have. Now the next thing is to place this aside. I'm going to bring the down part. So I already went ahead to sew the dart on it for the sake of time. So this is it. I sewed the dart on the front and the back pieces. Now I'm going to go ahead and join the down part to the upper body. So just open up your fabric like this. You're going to place the back on it. Make sure that the dart is corresponding with the other one, then pin it down. Now you're going to take this to the sewing machine and just sew it down. After sewing, this is what you're going to have it looking like. You're going to do the same thing to the front part. So place the front piece on it. Make sure that you are placing the right side on it. So this part that have curve, make sure it's corresponding to it. Go ahead and place it on it like this. Pin this dart area down. Take this to the sewing machine and sew it down. You're going to do the same thing to this other side as well. After sewing, guys, this is what you're going to have. You can see how it looks like. You can see how the dart is following the same line. So that is it. So this is the front part as well. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure around this waist area of the back. So what I have here, I'm going to go ahead and align this wrap area together. So just wrap it up the way it's supposed to be. You can see what I'm doing. So wrap it on it the way it's supposed to be, and make sure you have exactly what you have at the waistline of the back for the front as well. Then go ahead and pin it down. So after you're done doing this, now this is what you're going to have. The next thing is you're going to go ahead and join the shoulders. So just flip this to the wrong side, just the way you see me doing. You're going to place the sleeve together. Take this to the sewing machine and you're just going to go ahead and join it together using the sewing allowance that you added. Then after doing that, you do the same thing to this other side as well. This is what I had after I was done joining the two sides. So this is how it came out. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring this long piece. It is very long, guys. I've already weaved one part with the foreign weaving, okay, and it is 2.5 inches wide. how long it is, I went ahead to measure around this area of my dress where I'm going to sew it. I measured it round and I cut ×2 of what I had after I was done measuring. So that is how long this piece is. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and make 2 loose stitches on it to use and gather it. This is what I had after I was done making the stitches. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the excess threads to give it that gather effect. So guys, I'm done gathering it and this is what I have. You can see how nice it came out. So it is long enough to go around the hem part of my dress. Now I'm going to bring my dress. I'm just going to go ahead and place it on my dress like this. Make sure that the right sides are facing each other. You take this to the sewing machine and sew it round the hem part. So guys, this is what I had after I was done sewing it. You can see how nice it came out. So this part that is going to be inside, the wrap part that is going to be inside, I didn't gather it all the way to the end. So this is what I did because this part is not going to be showing. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be top stitching it. So just go ahead and top stitch it to the fabric side around it. So this is what I had after I was done top stitching. You can see how flat it is now looking. So this is what you're going to have. So I have this long rope I've already folded that I'll be using to tie it around. Just go ahead and place it on this side like this and stitch it down. You do the same thing to this other side. So this is what you're going to have after you're done doing that. I've attached the rope to it and this is it guys. I also went ahead to create a hole here, an opening here where my rope is going to pass through in order to be able to wrap it around my waist. So just go ahead and put it through that hole. So guys, this is what you're going to have. I'm just arranging it now to show you how it looks like. So guys, this is it. You're going to tie it at this side here. And this is how the wrap dress is going to be looking like. So this is it guys. Let me know what you think about this tutorial in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. I will see you all in my next video.